Welcome back. Republicans still looking to cut spending with just 2 months to go until the September 30th shutdown deadline and the funding of government. The GOP aiming to pass 12 individual appropriations bills funding separate aspects of government. Senate Democrats have agreed yesterday to advance bipartisan legislation funding military construction and the Department of Veterans Affairs. This is the first appropriations bill of fiscal year 2026 to advance in the Senate. House leaders, meanwhile, canceling a planned day of voting tomorrow, sending themselves home for the August recess a day early, with the session resuming on September 2nd. Joining me now to look ahead is Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn, member of the Senate Finance Committee. Senator, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And, you know, markets have been trading at record highs on this expectation that we are going to see economic growth, partly due to what you and your colleagues have done in terms of passing the big, beautiful bill. But now you'll have to work with Democrats going into September and the end of the month to fund this government. What are you expecting?
Well, Maria, what we have to realize is Democrats picked a side, and it's the radical left. And it is not the American people. And the Democrats lost at the ballot box, in the courts, in Congress, and now they're choosing obstruction. So it is going to be up to Republicans to push through and get us off the Biden budget and onto a Trump budget and Trump numbers. And we'll be able to do that. We are advancing the first bill. We have we're able to move forward following that. We've got agriculture, we've got ledge branch, we've got other bills that are ready to go. And it is an imperative that we get off the Biden budget and these Biden CRs and this out-of-control spending and actually do appropriations bills where we can cut a little bit more.
Right.
We do rescissions as we do appropriation bills. So this is good for the American people. It is great for President Trump and his agenda, and it's really good for the Republican-controlled Congress.
So do you have any expectation in terms of what you'll see when you try to work with Democrats? Because I understand what you're saying. You know, you can do this as Republicans, but you can't do that with the appropriations process. You'll need 60 votes. You'll need to work with the Democrats. Do you have any expectation that they'll be there to pass these appropriations bills, or do you expect Chuck Schumer wants a government shutdown come September?
Oh, Chuck Schumer would love to have a Schumer shutdown. He would take great joy and pride in that. However, I think as you talk with the Democrats, they will tell you that they're hearing from people who are not the radical left and want to see things done. They want to see law and order. They want to see protests stop. They want to see an appropriate funding of government. And you know what? There are a lot of Democrats I talk to, Maria, that want to see us get the deficit and the debt under control. And they know that in order to do that, you have to have regular order and you have to go through that appropriations process.
Okay. Well, so then they're on the hook if they don't work with you and your colleagues. Senator, you and North Carolina Congressman Mark Harris introducing legislation to repeal the congressional charter of the nation's largest teachers union, the NEA. Tell us about that.
Yes, indeed. Charter as a union. And so it is appropriate that we say to the NEA, if you want to go off on your own, you go right ahead, but we're going to pull that federal charter. And Maria, I think it's appropriate also to limit the ability of the NEA, which is the only federally chartered union, and also these federal employee unions, take away their ability to use taxpayer money to lobby Congress, which is what they do. And we need to make certain that they are not spending taxpayer money on that. People in Tennessee do not want to see their tax dollars used for a union to come and lobby Congress.
One of the worst offenders of those people crossing into America illegally. They've arrested many, cracking down on illegal immigration, but 70% of the ICE arrests are illegal aliens convicted of or charged with crimes. Senator, you introduced a bill requiring states to pay back the federal government if military resources were used in response to civil disturbances. That follows the deployment of the National Guard to California, the anti-ICE riots in Los Angeles, costing the Department of Defense upwards of $130 million. What do you want to say here?
And because of that expense, think about that. It was $130 million. As we started to look at this issue, we realized there was no provision that mandated these states pay back the Department of Defense. So that is what we filed legislation to do. This would create that mandate that when the Guard has to be called in to protect individuals, to protect federal property, that it is up to these cities and states to actually reimburse the U.S. Department of Defense for that expense. That way, citizens in that state are paying for that safety and security and those provisions, and it is not going to be individuals in other states having to foot the bill because you have sanctuary cities and blue city mayors that will not get these actions under control.
Senator, before you go, we've been talking all morning about this Russia collusion story, and I know 8 to 10 years ago I was talking with you about it very often, about the fact that I believed it was a complete lie 10 years ago, and that I knew that they had no evidence to charge President Trump with this ridiculous nonsense of him colluding with Russia. You said the same thing. What's your reaction to what we're seeing now with this declassification of documents? You think we'll finally see accountability?
I do think we will. I am grateful that DNI Gabbard decided to release 100 documents. So people who have said there's no proof, there's the proof. She laid it out for people to see. And Maria, when you even go back into the FBI and the way Comey would not go after Hillary Clinton for the way she used the servers and the fact that they knew that Hillary Clinton was prepping this dossier, and then they briefed President Trump knowing that this is all garbage that has been made up by the Clinton campaign, and then they carry this forward. I look forward to the DOJ and FBI investigations. I look forward to individuals who did this being held responsible and prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
All right, we will leave it there. Senator, great to see you this morning. Thank you.
You got it.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, stay with us. We'll be right back.